everyone, I'm your host Pensyfan19 and welcome to the July 2023 Pensyfan Periodical. This is a monthly news series which covers most of the major railroading headlines from around the world, as well as my opinions on them. We have a lot of articles to go over today, so with that in mind, let's get rolling. First off, continuing on their promise of becoming a regional railroad rather than just a commuter service, Metra announced their first new extension of their existing routes by proposing service to Rockford. This service will essentially be an extension of their Milwaukee District West line by ironically running along former Chicago Northwestern trackage to Rockford, with stops at Huntley and Belvedere scheduled to open in 2027, albeit service to Rockford will be less frequent and cost a bit more. Many have also speculated the possibility of an Illinois Railway Museum station in Union, so this way enthusiasts can take the train to a train museum instead of driving, especially since the tracks are right next to one of the largest railway museums in the country. Metra's proposal will be the first service along the route since the Amtrak Blackhawk in 1981, which ran along the former Illinois Central Main Line to Dubuque, Iowa, with previous services before Amtrak running all the way to Omaha, Sioux City, and Sioux Falls. In the meantime, I for one absolutely support this proposal as it's the best example of a commuter road not only restoring a former commuter service, but it also serves a distance further than the 30-mile norm and connects to a somewhat large city, thus properly fulfilling Metra's inner-city intentions. Furthermore, Chicago to Rockford service was proposed in Amtrak's Connexus map 2 years ago, along with a handful of other relatively short routes that were covered by commuter railroads before or could easily be covered by commuter railroads, so having a more centralized commuter agency like Metra focused on operating lines under 120 miles, such as Chicago to Rockford with higher frequencies, is perfect, so that Amtrak can focus on longer intercity and long-distance routes and not be limited to run one train a day due to low federal and state funding. Overall, commuter rail expansion is always a good thing, and I can't wait to see Metra commence service in this underutilized corridor in the coming years, while hopefully setting a precedent of letting the commuter agencies take care of smaller inner-city routes. Speaking of which, here is some interesting news. All Island Strategic Rail Review has made 30 proposals to improve various services on the CIE in Ireland, ranging from new branch lines to mass electrification, a plan that I ultimately support despite not knowing the region too well. Amtrak could face a 64% budget cut for current services, which could force reduced frequencies and discontinuing some services. The actively operating Mass Coastal Railroad Falmouth branch could be turned into a trail. HS2 has been given an unachievable rating by the British government in a rather defeatist move. The Czech Republic has abolished their rail regulator UOHS, or rather reassigned its duties to another branch of the government. Lumo is interested in developing Hyperloop technology, thus being the first British rail company to express interest in Hyperloop. CRRC has developed a solar-powered rail car for an Argentinian tourist railroad. CSX has released a 20% biodiesel-powered engine, while CN and UP also tested renewable fuel in their engines. Can-Do Rails to convert MPI switchers to run on batteries, and ELP Eurodual proved Newton's second law of motion. ODEG Lint DMUs have been retired after only 2 months of service. Canadian National has sold 18 of their GE-8 Cal units for scrap instead of rebuilding them. CSX has returned their EMD ST-78Hs to PRLX, and NSGP-38 High Hood led 2 ST-78s on the local in Elkhart, Indiana. The Niagara Railway Museum has received 2 ex-Yugoslav Railways USRA 060s. Italian State Railways FS has launched their own heritage service. An interview featuring Miles and Jeremy from Miles in Transit appeared in an article about Amtrak signal issues. Privately backed Eastern Carolina Rail has proposed passenger service between Wilmington and Raleigh, North Carolina. And DC Metro has proposed 6 alternative route for expansion plans, 4 of which being new-built subway extensions, with all 4 proposals including Georgetown and 3 of the 4 running through Ivy City. I prefer Alternative 3, or the Blue, as it seems to be the fan favorite among transit enthusiasts and urbanists, since it not only connects Georgetown, but also National Harbor, both of which being regions that never saw extensive public transit service before, and would greatly benefit from direct rail service to the center of the city. Now here's a follow-up news section for articles covering stories from previous episodes. Amtrak and the FRA released their conceptual map of new long-distance routes, consisting of former Amtrak services and plenty of new alignments. CP 2816 has been officially scheduled to run its long-awaited Calgary to Mexico City excursion on the 1-year anniversary of CPKC on April 14, 2024. Mr. Beast has wrecked another GP7 by running it into a pit. Stadler has revealed their Euroduals for Taiwan, while Alstom has revealed their EMU for Tren Maya. Fails to order Wabtec Flex drives. Via Rail has selected 3 consortia to develop their high-frequency rail corridor program. REM has officially commenced service between Montreal Central Station and Brossard, as its construction will be a key factor in an upcoming episode of Fixing Your Branch Line. Union Pacific has named Jim Venna as their new CEO, as the railroad released an employee appreciation sticker unit while implementing a ground-based conductor program by placing them in pickup trucks, all of which resulting in harsh feedback from various unions. Twitter has been rebranded to X, with CSX almost immediately associating X with their railroad, and the same Class 1 has released their Conrail Heritage Unit number 1976, which I feel looks pretty good. I know that the queue is already too large, but I don't think the CSX shop workers are too focused on the lettering of the logos for their heritage units, and I feel the large queue actually helps them distinguish this unit when compared to Norfolk Southern's Conrail Heritage Unit. In other news, the Finger Lakes Railway has launched excursion service with a Bud RDC between Canandaigua and Clifton Springs, New York. The Rochester and Genesee Valley Railroad Museum has acquired a New York Central shop switcher. URHS has preserved an NJT ALP 44. The Heber Valley Railway has painted the former Pan Am Heritage Unit into a Rio Grande-inspired livery. The RZD Class ES-104 has entered service. Brazil has opened their Norte Sul rail line. Super Rapid Trains in South Korea is holding a livery vote for their HSTs. Ops 1 is my personal favorite. Scale Trains has acquired a virtual railfan. Barbie and Oppenheimer premiered on the same release date. SBB has presented the RAB E512 class Stadler Kiss bi-level EMUs along the LHG and NRS Euroduals. Midway has ordered an extra 15 Siemens Vectrons in a livery that makes them look worn and faded. Very long SNCF CAF Oxygen EMUs have begun testing. Tanzania has acquired former DB Regio bi-level coaches. KGV is to order Skoda trams, while Zagreb has ordered LRVs from Konkar. Italian Name Railway has placed an order for Stadler HMUs, while other Italian Name Railway has purchased small Stadler EMUs. OBB's Railjet is to purchase Stadler KISS EMUs as their first bi-level stock and their first equipment from Stadler. AKM is to purchase Alstom Trax engine, while NAH.SH is to purchase Corradius Stream EMUs, with coaches only having a lower level. Frontrunner is to double-track their service. CPK has released designs for their CPK Air Rail Hub station in Poland. And designs have been revealed for the 3 stations on the 2nd Avenue Subway Phase 2 extension to 125th Street, with many criticizing the stations as overdeveloped and unnecessarily expensive. Views that I somewhat agree with, but also acknowledge that a lot of effort went into said designs and enhances the overall area. Also, happy 44th anniversary to New Jersey Transit, happy 175th anniversary to London Waterloo Station, the most heavily used station in the UK, and happy 100th anniversary to the Alaska Railroad, with a very well-painted heritage unit to celebrate the occasion. After all that, it is now time for this month's Meme of the Month. This month's Meme of the Month is Model Railroading Therapy Sessions. And now, the top story of the July 2023 Pensyfan periodical is Britain to close over 1,000 ticket offices. With this being a very eventful month when it comes to rail news around the world, I decided to make the tough decision of giving this particular story the spotlight in order to highlight an urgent cause on the other side of the pond. In early July, a map was released that showcased every station to have their ticket office removed, with East Anglia, South Coast, and the Greater London region being the most affected, based on the assumption that users could simply use their phones to buy tickets and navigate the system. Furthermore, the removal of the ticket office would remove the legal obligation for railway operators to keep personnel present at these stations, which would result in about 1,000 stations becoming unstaffed in order to save operating costs. Such an announcement has caused outrage across the country and resulted in several protests, including a petition with over 145,000 signatures before being closed, as many towns that weren't even included on the map started scaling back their ticket offices, and some employees were disciplined for showing support for the cause. Unusually, very little news of this drastic change has been covered in any railway news media, and most of the info was found through official Save the Ticket offices websites, as well as videos made about the topic that go more in depth about the issue at hand. If anything, I feel this is similar to the recent NYC subway ticket booth closures that spurred similar discussions in the cities and nearby suburbs, and lesser known as the lack of station agents at many commuter railroad stations, despite the station house and waiting rooms still being open. I for one still feel it's important to have ticket agents, or any railroad employees for that matter, present at the stations in order to assist with a variety of matters, such as assisting new users on navigating the system, in addition to providing fair prices, similar to the Red Vests of the Long Island Railroad. So even if you don't have agents specifically offering tickets, I would still support having at least one personnel around to assist passengers on understanding how the railway works and how to best use it, as well as assisting them with the ticket machines if anything were to go wrong, even if it means relocating existing personnel from busier stations, as it's always important to highlight the various lesser discussed human aspects that go into everyday railroading around the world. Thank you everyone for watching this month's episode of the Pensyfan Periodical. There have been a lot of rail news headlines for the month, and it'll be very interesting to see what the future has in store for all these articles. Thank you again for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Have a good day.